is Pete now? Where's Pete now?
Where is he? Where is he?
Where's Pete now?
Where is he? Where is he?
Where's Pete now?
Where is he? Where is he? Sardines!
Well done everybody who guessed Nathan was indeed in the shower. Congratulations.
Okay, here are the answers to last week's World Tour. If you didn't guess the location, I am in Germany, in Berlin. There we go. There's the clue to all the songs. All the songs have some sort of German theme. Here we go. See how many you got. 99 red balloons floating in the summer sky. Panic bells, it's red alert. Something here from somewhere else. War machines spring to life. Opens up one eager eye, focusing on the sky when 99 red balloons go by. That's the first one. The second one was very different. This song is from the 80s. It's very hard to play on the guitar because I don't have a synthesizer. And in the 80s they didn't use proper instruments, they used synthesizers. So here we go. Watching every moment in my foolish love's game. On this endless ocean, find little lovers know no shame. Turning and returning to some place inside. Watching in slow motion as you turn around and say, take my breath away. Take my breath away. And the last one, from what is possibly my favourite TV show of all time, couldn't help but slip it in. Don't tell him, Pike! Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think you're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. So who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think all England's done? Auf Wiedersehen, Pat. This helicopter ride over Carlisle can only mean one thing. It's time for the Livewires and Ignite vlog. Let's jump right in. It's time to play Cup, and Away.
What do you call a man with no shin? Tony!
I don't get it. Average Joe's average jokes. Signing out. Boom. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you all. Wonder if you've been to a great party recently. Probably been on Zoom, hasn't it? But I wonder if you can remember way back in the day when you used to be able to go to great parties and have great fun, play loads of games, drink great food, eat jelly and ice cream, and play lots of games and get and give lots of presents. I wonder if you've had a great party. I wonder if you've ever had a party which has been ruined by someone or something. I don't mind admitting that I've ruined a few of my own parties in the past by being grumpy and grouchy and not being very nice, being a bit proud, not being humble. Well, actually, today's story is about a king who wouldn't humble himself. He was very proud. This king was called Belshazzar. He was Nebuchadnezzar's son. Nebuchadnezzar had finished his reign really well and died. He'd humbled himself before God and was praising God, the king of everyone and everything. But his son Belshazzar didn't want to know. He was very proud. He was very, very wealthy. And he was very, very powerful. And he wanted everybody to know. So what he did is he threw a big party. And he invited all his friends and all his wives, plural. Too many wives. He invited them all. And they got out all the posh crockery. It wasn't just posh crockery. This is crockery they'd stolen from the temple in Jerusalem. Crockery that was meant to be given over to use for God, the king of everyone and everything. But Belshazzar whipped it out. And rather than praising God, the king of everyone and everything, he praised other gods, gods of gold and silver and bronze, other Babylonian gods. Not a match to the God we know, king of everyone and everything. Well, at that point, the party took a turn for the worse and it was ruined. As, I kid you not, a massive hand appeared and started writing words on the wall. And the hand on the wall wrote these words: Mene, Mene, Tekel Parsin,
Well, the king, the wise men of Babylon, the magicians, the astrologers, all of them got together and tried to work out what this meant. They didn't have a clue. They didn't know. So, you can see where this is going. They called in Daniel. Actually, it was the king's mum who recommended they call in Daniel. Daniel, that great servant under his dad, Nebuchadnezzar, the king's dad, Nebuchadnezzar, would be able to tell them. And Daniel could tell them. But he said, King, this is going to be bad news for you. You're a proud king, not a humble one like your dad. And I'm afraid this is really, really bad news. You see, Mene, well, Mene means God has numbered your days and your time as king is coming to an end. Tekel means you've been weighed, you've been judged by God. And Parsin means your kingdom will be divided and given to the Medes and the Persians, your enemies. Not good news for a very proud king, but God, the king of everyone and everything, spoken, and that was his judgment. And that night, that very night after the party had finished, when the king was in bed, he was slain. He was killed. It's a bit of a sobering story, isn't it? It's not a nice story, but it teaches us some important lessons about God. Firstly, that God is the king of everyone and everything, and he's the boss. He is in charge of everything that goes on here on earth. And that means that we should humble ourselves before him, which is what Nebuchadnezzar did, but not what Belshazzar did. We should humble ourselves before him. Jesus says this in the New Testament. He says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." He says, blessed are those who are humble. It's great to be humble, Jesus says, because they will inherit the whole earth. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? You know, when you're at a party and you're too proud, you might get a few presents. If you're really humble, you might get a few more. But Jesus says, no, be humble before God. Put God as number one in your life, and you'll gain the whole earth. Isn't that amazing? How incredible is that? Well, we've been looking at that big question all the way through, haven't we? Is it worth worshipping God? Is it worth putting God number one in my life? Well, here we've seen that God's the boss. So he's worth putting number one for that reason alone. But if we humble ourselves before him, we'll not just get some nice things, we will gain masses. We will gain the whole earth. So it's worth putting him number one. Guys, thanks for listening. We've got our last story in Daniel next week, and it'll be our last vlog before half term as well. So come back next week for more stories about Daniel, and you won't want to miss it. It's a belter next week.
Hello and good evening and welcome to the Paintballing World Championship highlights here live from a forest near Keswick. It is great to welcome you, and my name is Con Johnson. We'll be showing you highlights of the gauntlet run attempted by the one and only Pete the Hammer Walford. And he has done very well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. But without further ado, let me show you exactly how well he did as we look at some highlights from the gauntlet run earlier this afternoon. Here we go. You'll see him here bending his run around the tree, using those smoke flares to good effect. He did actually run in slow motion, ladies and gentlemen, which is why he got hit quite a lot. I'm only joking. I've slowed it down so you can see accurately how many times he is getting hit. But there he goes, passing through to the finish. It was a great effort and a bruising run, but he is very brave, is Pete the Hammer Walford. Now, let me take you through that one more time, slowing the footage down, and we can really analyse what happened on that brave run. You'll see he arcs his run here magisterially around that tree at the back there, avoiding the logs on the left, heading directly for the empty container. He's using the smoke flares, ladies and gentlemen. Notice that to great effect to disguise his run. His only problem was that he looked like a pink flamingo. It's an interesting choice of uniform. We've seen many choices in this paintballing world championship. Many of the teams have gone for straight out camouflage, but Pete's here choosing the pink boa and tutu. It's a brave choice, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not as brave as what we wanted him to wear. But it's a good effort all the same. Here you can see a splattering of paintballs flying past him. If you look carefully, you can see one hitting on the right shoulder there. Also, if you look really carefully, you'll see one hitting an unmentionable area. We won't mention that. Here he goes past the containers, and there, which is hiding our cameraman, ladies and gentlemen, and through into the rear of the arena. And as far as we know, ladies and gentlemen, he is still running now. Well, sure you'll agree, it's a great performance there from Pete the Hammer Walford. He's a brave, brave, brave competitor, and he's done very, very well. Well, until next time on the Paintballing World Series, it is goodbye from me, Con Johnson, and I will see you next time.